All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is me, Darson Chauskas from Easy Markets, and this is the Daily Pitch International breaking news section. So, look, today I wanted to pick up on ADP employment change number, which is coming out today with a bunch of other stuff. But, well, this section is basically on ADP. Look, before we jump in, before we start, as always, quick mentioning of our risk disclaimer. The content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. So yes, today we have a bunch of data coming out. So tomorrow as well, and yes, not only from the U.S. in general, from around the world. So it depends on what you're trading, what you're looking at, what you're analyzing. I think there is a bunch of stuff you can pick up on. Now, basically also actually before we jump into the charts, into everything, into the numbers, a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. So now then, let's see what's happening here. Basically, we have the ADP number, yes, and that's coming out on the lower side today, or at least it's expected to come out on the lower side. The question is, will that happen? Will it be the case? Because okay, that the number will come out lower, that's most likely. It will be a great surprise if the number comes out higher, let's say, than the previous number. Because in general, last time, and I wanted to pick up on this because, of course, sometimes people do gauge ADP to NFP and they look at what's happening there. In general, I keep on saying that that's a wrong way of looking at it. But okay, in this case, let's say we examine this situation. Last time, if you know, the NFPs came out almost like double the previous number, so the market took it as a fantastic news and like, okay, great, there was some positivity. Now this week we're seeing NFPs coming out on the lower side, almost double the previous number, so double to the downside. And also, yes, ADP is coming out is expected to come out on the lower side. So, and yesterday JOLTs numbers came out on the lower side. So in general, this week it's job numbers for the US, and all of them are expected to come out lower. Well, one at least came out already lower. So that's what I'm saying. So keep your eyes on ADP today, because if that one comes out somewhere, let's say above the forecast but still below the previous, it still is bad in my opinion. So it still does not paint a good picture. And the fact that the NFP is so jumpy in terms of where's that? Let me just pick up on that NFP very quickly. So NFP is so jumpy here. So last time we had the expectation was 140 and it came out, like I said, came out like almost double. Now the expectation is for almost double the cut, so almost double the drop. So question, which one is lying in general? Who is lying? Because this jumpiness, it's a little bit, yeah, interesting. Now look, what's I think that what's going to be interesting here with the NFPs will be the fact okay, the actual number is going to be important, but how much will the previous number get adjusted? If it's going to get adjusted a lot, and let's say more towards the downside, then maybe that could be the good number here. The actual number could be ignored totally, and everybody will be like, hey, actually, you know what? Last time it wasn't that good, so let's sell off here or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I think what people need to consider and need to keep an eye on. Yes, the actual number is important, but do not forget about the previous figure. So coming back to the situation with the ADP number, as you can see, last week we also had a good number. It came out higher, not as crazy higher as the NFP, but still on the higher side. But if the if the 140 will get adjusted as well, that's gonna be, like I said, that's gonna be interesting as well. I mean, where will it get adjusted? If it's gonna get adjusted to the downside, then maybe we could actually expect the NFP also be getting adjusted to the downside. again, I'll repeat myself. I say all the time that do not try to gauge this, gauge the two numbers together. Don't try to compare the two numbers together. But sometimes in situations like these, maybe this is giving a kind of a good hint in terms of what's happening in the market. If ADP comes out, let's say lower than let's say lower than the previous number, or depending on where that's going to get adjusted to, and let's say the NFP comes out on the lower side, in general this week we're getting bad job numbers, and I don't think that this will play out positively for the stock market. Yes, we're in the earnings season. Yes, some companies can drive growth and can show good results, and we could see some rallies. But I think that they could be short-lived. I think that the market will understand that. Let's say if this whole week we're gonna get bad job numbers, then hey, not everything is that rosy. And yeah, I mean, of course, next week we understand that we have the U.S. elections together with the Fed interest rate decision. That's something that's gonna be a big market mover. So hey, let's keep an eye on the job numbers this week. Like I said, keep your eyes. No, don't only wait for the NFP. Yes, it's going to be the last one for this week, but still, keep your eyes on the ADP number today as well, because I was carefully looking at the JOLTs yesterday, and yes, as I threw out this video here yesterday about the consumer confidence in JOLTs, and yes, I mean, kind of worked out nicely. And the same story, like I said, I mean, yes, JOLTs have passed, but still they're important. The fact that they came out lower, it's important. ADP today will be very important to see how much the previous number will get adjusted and where the actual number will come out. Even if it comes out, let's say, higher than the forecast but still below the previous, that I think still could be a bit of a bearish indication. And then yes, of course, we'll keep an eye on the NFP, and and I think that then Friday could be a crazy one. But again, let's not rush into things. Let's see how it will play out. So yeah, in terms of the indices here, Dow is stuck in a little box here, and I talked about this in my morning webinar, which you can always check out. It's always in the live section. Basically, it's a recorded section here, a recorded video, but you can also always jump into live session. So every morning. But yeah, what I was saying before, that we're currently stuck in the box from the technical perspective, and we need to get outside of the box. So we need to think outside of the box. So until I get that thought flowing through outside of this box, I'm not really touching this one. I'm observing the price action. I need to see a clearance, either a drop below the 42,200 zone here, or the 42,680, or maybe 700, even better. And that's on the futures. So in the cash, you might have slightly different numbers, but nevertheless, it's still almost the same. The S&P 500, it's also stuck here. It did its all-time highs, and yes, it's stuck here a little bit. So let's see what will happen with jobs, and if they will or if they can affect this. Most likely they could, and they will. So yes, a rhetorical question. Nasdaq. Look, I said before, if Dow and the S&P does an all-time high, I think that all three need to do an all-time high. In my opinion, it doesn't always happen. Don't get me wrong, but I think at this point, I mean, Nasdaq is playing the catch-up game, and maybe it will end up traveling towards that 21,000 zone. Let's see, and that's on the futures, by the way. So, and let's see if we can reach that one. But so, look, that's a quick take on the job numbers this week, and especially today, the ADP number. So do not underestimate that number. Yes, NFP is important, but the fact that NFPs have been a little bit wobbly, and like it's one month it's like double the number, the other month is double to the downside. So it's becoming a little bit sketchy, or itchy, or what's the word with the ch in there. Yeah, that's why we're gonna keep an eye on this one. If it's gonna come out lower, then of course all eyes are on the NFP to see if we're gonna have a lucky strike of three numbers to the downside. So JOLTS, ADP, and NFP this week. So Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found it useful. Again, if you do have any comments, please do. And by the way, those who have commented in my previous video on the CB consumer confidence number and the JOLTs, thank you very much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I do really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So yes, in general, if you have any questions, or let's say, or if you want to share something, honestly, feel free to do so in the comment section. And yeah, you can always reach out to me as well. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.